So let's start by settling the body, finding a comfortable, stable, upright position, serviceable for meditation. So we'll keep our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap, right over left with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open. Our gaze is unfocused and downward. We try to avoid slouching, leaning, being hunched over. And try to imagine a column of light from the tailbone to the top of the back of the head. And wanting it to be completely unbroken. We also want to avoid rigidity in the body. So try to relax into the posture, letting go of tension. Turn away from what's happening around you, letting go too of thoughts of the past or future. Concentrating on the present by attending closely to the physical sensation accompanying the in-breath and the out-breath at the tip of the nostrils. Noticing quickly when anything that isn't that one sensation arises in the mind without judgment or frustration, letting that distraction go and returning again and again just to that one physical sensation. Then, when the mind feels more calm, generate a broad and altruistic motivation for your time, wanting to use this time to tap into your potential, cultivate greater familiarity with constructive mental states, reduce your habituation to states of mind that give rise to your own suffering and can motivate actions that cause harm, and wanting to do that to be of benefit to other sentient beings. And then today we'll train in love and compassion by practicing the giving and taking meditation, Tonglen. So begin by visualizing a version, a future version of yourself seated in front of you, and think of a physical or mental unwanted experience that you know that you sometimes face. Could be a stress or anxiety or migraine. Anything that you have some familiarity with. And imagine that this future version of yourself is yet again experiencing this unwished for state experience. Imagine that this difficult experience is taking the form of smoke or pollution surrounding the body of this visualization in front. It's in the nature of that painful state. And then focus for a moment on visualizing your present self in meditation, holding an image of it in your mind, and visualizing a small, dark seed at the level of the heart in the middle of the chest. Try to hold these two visualizations. Turning your attention to the visualization in front and observing the suffering that you are familiar with. Try to notice how in the mind the wish to be free of that suffering is natural and spontaneous. Try to feel that wish very deeply in a very visceral, grounded way. Imagine then that due to the force of that compassionate intention, that smoke, that pollution begins to lift off of the visualization in front. It begins to be magnetized to oneself. It begins to funnel toward oneself faster and faster, absorbing into that dark seed at the heart. Imagine that that dark seed becomes more and more dense. When all of that pollution is drawn off, then imagine that that dark seed implodes and is replaced by a larger orb of golden white light, about the size of your fist. Due to your wish for this future version of yourself to be happy, light rays extend from this orb and are absorbed into and surround the visualization in front. Think that they have the power to provide all temporary and ultimate sources of contentment, peace, genuine happiness. Try to imagine in great detail those temporary and ultimate sources and the experience of this visualization of oneself in front actually receiving and being benefited. Everything necessary up to and including the state of enlightenment. And allow that visualization in front to dissolve and replace it with a visualization of two or three people, people that you don't know, and imagine that they are experiencing something perhaps similar to what you've experienced, or perhaps a bit more intense. Try to imagine their experience. And then, even if you need to use a remembering consciousness of what it felt like to have that spontaneous, deep wish for that sentient being, those sentient beings to be free of that suffering. Try to at least recollect that subjective experience. Try to cause it to arise and stabilize it in the mind. Again, visualizing that this suffering is in the nature of smoke or pollution, and that due to the force of your own compassionate wish, it lifts off of these people, begins to funnel toward oneself, closer and closer and faster and faster. There's a sense of unease or aversion. Allow yourself to feel that, but without losing that compassionate wish or the courage to face the suffering of others. And think that that pollution absorbs into the dark seed, which becomes more and more dense, which in turn implodes and is replaced by that larger orb of golden white light. And think that you not only want these sentient beings to be free of suffering, you also want them to be happy, just like you wish oneself to be happy. And thinking about what it means to have all temporary and ultimate sources of happiness, satisfaction, contentment, peace. Visualizing light rays extending out, absorbing and surrounding these people, and providing all of these sources in a detailed way. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation. Think that having trained in love and compassion, you've actualized that motivation, and that positive energy that's been created, you offer for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. Thinking may it ripen in whatever ways truly beneficial for sentient beings. May it serve to bring an end to conflict in the world. May it pacify disease, poverty, all painful conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of sentient beings, allow them to quickly perfect their minds, achieve that state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve that state so that I can benefit sentient beings perfectly without mistake. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings be guided and protected from this moment forward by enlightened beings until we all swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you.